I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, pitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! Need some PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, pitting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! Need some PlayStations! Let's go to Target!
I grabbed the mic and I muted it. My voice is too loud in my headphones. Okay. Let's go. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Monday night. This is my first Monday night. Now that I got my new schedule, so I gotta work at 10. And so I'm surprised I didn't start late. It's going to take some getting used to this new schedule. I don't know if I can go a full 3 hours. I might have to stop at like 8:30 so I can do the last minute stuff before I leave. But we got a show tonight. Actually, we got a lot of negative news. That's pretty much what covering the news is. You just talk about all the negative stuff that happens in the world every week. Don't get too down. Don't get too depressed. It's not for everybody. Not for everybody. The news is a scary place. So we have terror all across America. Trump's on his way into office. Today is the anniversary of the worst day in the history, the greatest tragedy in the history of America. Worse than Pearl Harbor. Worse than 9/11. Worse than Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Even though that wasn't, it's the worst tragedy in the entire world. January 6th. The insurrection. January 6th. The insurrection. Today's the 4-year anniversary of the insurrection on America. And America seems like it's a pretty peaceful place right now, you know? If it weren't for all the terrorism, seems like people are calming down and people are like, yeah, Trump's going to get ish done. He's going to get it done. But then the media is just showing us car bombs and cars driving through crowds. And remember I said last week, I said these things happen in threes. And we had, I think, 2 stories of people driving through crowds last week. Well, there's another one this week. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the New Orleans truck incident on Bourbon Street. And then the Cybertruck explosion, which there's a lot of conspiracy theories in that. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not. I don't know. Apparently some channels are getting taken down for talking about these things right now, which I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I think we're going to be all right. I'm not going to make any too crazy conjecture, and I haven't been watching much Rumble, so I don't know what all the conspiracy theories are. Coffee time. Hold up. Let me get these articles open. And then we'll do some politics and rapid fire. Some oddity news. And then for the last little bit of the show, I'll try to squeeze it in, but I was going to do like a breakdown. I got my new Strong's Concordance, and I was going to show it off on the stream. My mom's got it for me for Christmas, and it's pretty cool, and I was going to show how it's used, but that won't take very long, so we might still try to squeeze that in. But we'll talk about just looking back at 2024 and the plans for 2025. But first, let's do this main story news. We got a lot of crazy stuff happening. We got the truck in New Orleans, the Tesla explosion. We had like 4 incidents this week of near either explosion threats, bomb threats, or bombs being found on trains or fire. I think they were like fireworks. I think they blew that story out of proportion, which might be the case with a lot of these stories. They're trying to fear monger. They're saying Trump's coming into office. Look at all this terrorism now. We just got terrorists running around left and right. Let me find my articles. What do we got? All right, so let's just give a brief overview of this. What's CBS saying? I forget. I got to move it with thing, not with the mic. Every time I grab the mic, it mutes it. All right, so this is what happened this was on New Year's Day, right? Thursday, January 2nd. Yeah, I think this happened on New Year's Day. Shamsuddin Jabbar. And I think what's getting people banned is, well, that shouldn't be getting people banned because we have the story. They found an ISIS flag near the truck. Now, it could be like, remember when that mail truck drove into one of the federal buildings into their poles and crashed it there? And they're like, he had a Nazi flag. He had a flag. I think some of those flags are planted there sometimes to push the narrative. Because they always look like oddly. There's like a perfectly laid out flag while everything's burning. There's like death everywhere, and there's just a flag laying there perfectly set up for them. But let me read this. A man intentionally drove a pickup truck into a crowd of revelers on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, French Quarter, in a deadly rampage early on New Year's Day. And then I have another story, but I wonder if these are the same story, and I didn't read it. But there was another bomb threat. There was a bomb threat made on the French Quarter this week, too. So another one. Yeah, it is different. At least 14 people were killed before the attacker died in a shootout with police. Officials said dozens of others were injured in the attack. A black ISIS flag was flying from the truck's rear bumper, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation called the attack an act of terrorism. An act of terrorism. So what qualifies something as terrorist? I believe it's political, religious, or social violence with a political, religious, or social connection to it. Let me see what Google says is the definition of terrorist or terrorism. No isms. Just give me the definition, Google. Come on now. Use of violence or threat of violence to achieve political objectives, intimidate the public, or coerce a government. So what did I say? Political, religious, or social? They're saying political, social, or government related. So they don't mention religion, but I think if you like blow up a church or something, I think that's also considered, if it's a religious if it's a religious thing, like, I don't know, some Allah Akbar folk want to take out some Christians, then that would be considered a terrorist attack, but not according to this definition, because they don't include religion in here. But sorry, I need my coffee before I go to work. And I don't have, if you guys know like the conspiracy theories that are going around about this, I don't even have time to follow it anymore, because I don't know. I don't watch a lot of political content anymore, because I just make my own. But dozens of others were injured. A black ISIS flag was flying from the truck's rear bumper, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation called the attack an act. I already read that, but yeah, a convenient ISIS flag hanging out. But I guess probably what's getting people banned is probably saying something like the CIA knew about it, or conjecture like that. But I mean, who don't they know about? Who isn't on their list? The man driving the vehicle has been identified as Shamsuddin Jabbar, a U.S. citizen from Texas, the FBI said. I mean, we know they got a bunch of freaking, what are they called? Splinter cells, or a bunch of like terrorist cells in America that are just sitting here to kill Trump. I know that's a thing. So they already got some of them. So he might be part of that. Televised remarks Wednesday evening, President Biden said the FBI has determined that just hours before the attack, Jabbar posted videos to social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill. The vehicle was an electric Ford pickup. All these electric vehicles causing problems. The vehicle was an electric Ford pickup truck that appears to have been rented. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said on social media Jabbar rented the truck on December 30th while living in the Houston area before heading to New Orleans. In televised remarks Wednesday evening, President Biden said the FBI has determined that just hours before the attack, Jabbar posted videos to social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS. I already read that. Why are they repeating the same paragraph twice? I hear my nose going in this microphone. Electric Ford dude, they have the same paragraph printed twice. That's weird. FBI Deputy Assistant Director Christopher Raya said at a news conference Thursday that the attack was an act of terrorism. It was premeditated and an evil act, he said. While the FBI initially thought Jabbar may have had help carrying out the attack, Raya said as of Thursday, the Bureau believes no one else was involved. A person familiar with the investigation told CBS neither ISIS nor any other foreign terror organization has claimed responsibility for the attack. So he was just a wannabe ISIS. That is what they're implying. He was an ISIS wannabe, which is worse than being an ISIS. The attacker drove around barricades and up onto the sidewalk of Bourbon Street. New Orleans Police Department Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick said avoiding barriers that could have been placed by police. The man was trying to run over as many people as he could. We had a car there, we had barriers, we had officers there, and he still got around, Kirkpatrick said. Well, so he drove 3 blocks. Here's the city blocks that he drove. Dang, 3 blocks down Bourbon Street. On a crowded night, it was Mardi Gras. Yeah. I saw the video of the German one. That dude was flying. He just flew through there. I have not seen a video of this one, but these are the 3 blocks. Attacker drives truck around police onto Bourbon Street from Canal Street. 1, 2, almost 3 blocks. He made it 2.5 blocks. 2 3/4 of a blocks. Weapons and two potential improvised explosive devices, or IEDs, were located in the vehicle. Improvised explosive devices, IEDs. He got some dang suitcase bombs in that truck. So then they were tying this to the Cybertruck explosion that we're about to talk about. I've heard people saying there is ties, there is connections. We got some memes that imply that there are connections. But then I hear other people saying that there is no connection. So I don't know. It does seem interesting that all these people seem to get activated around the same times. And these things happen in groups like this. Two law enforcement sources told CBS News that the suspect had an AR-15 style weapon and a handgun with him at the time of the truck attack. The long gun had a suppressive device on it that acted as a silencer, according to sources on the scene. Two sources familiar with the investigation told CBS News the man was wearing body armor. Investigators from the FBI, Homeland Security, and Bomb Squad have all been on the scene at an Airbnb in the St. Roch area of New Orleans, where officials tell CBS News the suspect was staying while in New Orleans. That building caught fire on Wednesday, and the investigation into that fire is ongoing. It's craziness. What's going on in New Orleans? Officials react. Sugar Bowl postponed. They postponed the Sugar Bowl for this. Witnesses attempted to help victims. Let's watch a little video clip of this. Again, I haven't had time to look into all the conspiracy theories about this, but if you've heard any, drop them in the chat. Just speculation, just theories, you know.
Several others are injured after what investigators are calling a terror attack in New Orleans. And that's not all. A Cybertruck explosion outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas.
We're going to get to that.
Also being investigated as a possible terror attack on New Year's Day. Good evening. I'm Chris Thomas. We do have a lot to cover.
We will get into some of the conspiracies about that one. I haven't seen a whole lot about this New Orleans thing, but I have watched some stuff on the Cybertruck thing. That one's kind of weird.
Tonight, and we start with the tragedy on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Some of the victims have now been identified after a man drove his truck into a crowd of people. They range in age from 18 to 30.
Yeah, we do have a list of all the victims. I'll read through that here in a second.
37 years old. Take a closer look. We now have pictures of at least 5 of the victims. And keep in mind, we'll learn more about all 15 victims in the coming days.
Bro,
meanwhile, the FBI
hold on a second. I swear. Okay, maybe I'm being crazy. Maybe I'm being conspiracy brain, but I do this. You know, we do this. We cover these things all the time. I swear this picture right here is like a stock tragedy photo. And I'm not saying, I'm just joking. This young man definitely passed away. God rest his soul. All the victims. This is a tragedy. I'm not implying it didn't happen. It definitely happened. I'm just saying I've seen this picture before, and I swear I've seen this picture before. This one right here of this guy with this girl on his back, I swear I've seen this picture before. Maybe I'm just a little bit crazy or something. I don't know, but is anybody else seeing this picture and like, dude, I know this guy. Like, I've seen this picture before. Maybe I'm crazy. Matthew, am I crazy, or is that like, remember during COVID, they were like showing pictures of hospitals with like people dying in the hospital bed. It turns out that picture is from like France in the year 2010 or something like that. Dude, I've seen this picture before. Anyway, I'm getting a little off the rails, a little conspiracy brained. Anyway.
Learn more about all 15 victims in the coming days. Meanwhile, the FBI says this is the 42-year-old suspect from Texas. He was killed in a gun battle with police.
Hello,
and 2 officers are now in the hospital. Tonight, we have the very latest on the investigation from New Orleans. Take a look.
Tonight, one of America's most vibrant streets is shut down. Instead of festivities,
Vibrant.
police vehicles and crime tape marked Bourbon Street in New Orleans, where a driver, believed to be 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, rammed a pickup truck into a New Year's Day crowd just after 3 a.m. Dozens are injured, and among the dead, 27-year-old Nicole Perez. Her friend tells ABC
Perez.
News Nicole leaves behind a 4-year-old son. Federal officials say Din Jabbar is a U.S.-born citizen from Texas and an Army veteran who worked at the accounting and consulting firm.
I haven't
Deloitte.
watched. Well, you watch it on my show whenever I talk about it. Because we be talking about the tragedies.
The FBI also reported to me that mere hours before the attack,
Are you still
they posted
alive,
videos
Joe?
on social media indicating that it is inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill.
The driver drove 3 blocks before crashing, then got out
Inspired
and fired
by
at
ISIS.
police with an assault rifle, according to officials. They add 2 officers were hurt before police shot and killed the suspect. Witnesses described the scene as gruesome.
What we saw.
Yeah, wait till we get to the meme that says that him, the guy that took the shot at Trump, and the Tesla truck fire guy all went to the same military base. They were all in the MK Ultra.
Was insanity. I mean, something out of a movie. The graphic nature of it, and it was unbelievable.
Investigators say they found an ISIS flag.
Where's the
weapons,
ISIS
and
flag?
improvised
Where's a
explosive
picture of it?
devices inside the truck. They're now working to determine whether he had any affiliations with terrorist organizations.
We do not believe that Jabbar was solely responsible. We are aggressively running down every lead.
How many people does it take to be responsible for driving a truck down a busy street? Like, it's not like something you really got to put a lot of planning into and like have a team of guys, and you just, I don't like. And I guess, what did he plan on getting out? And he did have a shootout with the police, but I don't know. Isn't it odd they like find all these weapons and stuff in the vehicle, but well, the Cybertruck one's weird. Who shoots themselves in the head right before they blow up a vehicle? Why wouldn't you just, well, I guess if you don't want to burn, but I don't know. It's weird.
Including those of his known associates.
Officials also questioned about whether barricades were up along Bourbon Street.
Apparently they were up,
Tonight's
according to
Sugar Bowl game between
CBS.
Notre Dame and Georgia will now be played tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Y'all are moving the Sugar Bowl? What the? And we got one more. So there's no audio to this, but this is video that this guy's recording with his Meta glasses or his Apple glasses. Planning attack using Meta glasses. Oh, these are Meta glasses. We want to make sure we call out the right big tech company. You guys gave this guy was able to buy Meta glasses. I blame you, Meta. So there's no audio to this. But this is footage from, I believe, earlier in the day. But this is him planning the attack. He's riding down Bourbon Street. I wish they had the audio. Or maybe there is no audio. But this is him riding his bike down Bourbon Street, recording with some Meta glasses on. And he must be talking to himself or talking. And maybe that's why they took the audio out, or I'm not sure, but there is no audio. This is just him riding his bike around, recording up and down Bourbon Street. And they say that this is footage of him planning the attack. You have the FBI emblem at the top here. So there's a little bit of videos from it. I have a couple more articles about this one. So from Fox, it says, New Orleans truck ramming attack, terrorist suspect seen on eerie surveillance hour before Bourbon Street carnage. So he was walking around scoping it out an hour before. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are expected in New Orleans on Friday, days after an alleged terrorist rammed a truck through New Year's revelers, like celebrators, partygoers, killing 14 people before he died during a shootout with police. The FBI and Department of Homeland Security issued a bulletin to approximately 18,000 law enforcement agencies across the country, including many local police and sheriff departments, warning those who wear the uniform to be hyper vigilant regarding copycat attacks after the bloodshed seen on Bourbon Street. Told you they come in threes. The shootings, the cars driving through crowds, and now bombs. Terrorism. It's terrorism. We advise federal, state, local, tribal, and territorial government and law enforcement officials and private sector security partners to remain vigilant of potential copycat retaliatory attacks inspired by this attack and other recent lethal vehicle ramming incidents across the globe. The bulletin does not include any specific intelligence regarding a specific copycat attack and serves a general warning to keep the people on alert. Where's this surveillance footage? Is this him? See, this guy does not even look like the guy, but he is wearing the meta glasses. I don't know. FBI released photos of surveillance footage that shows Samshuddin Jabbar an hour before he drove a truck down Bourbon Street. So he's walking around at the site beforehand, scoping it out. Bolton also spoke to how ISIS has promoted vehicle attacks for a decade and provided signs law enforcement should be on the lookout for. Law enforcement should be aware that in many cases, attackers have conducted vehicle ramming attacks with secondary weapons and may continue the attack with edged weapons, firearms, or IEDs after the vehicle has stopped. And conveniently, they found IEDs, edged weapons, and secondary weapons on his person and in his vehicle. Another deadly vehicle ramming incident occurred just over a week before the Bourbon Street attack. Crowded Christmas market in Germany. We talked about that one. And then I believe there was one other one but that we talked about last week, but nobody was seriously injured in that one. He rented a Ford pickup. Okay. Enough of that. What's this one? Okay, so then the governor, Jeff Landry, declares an emergency, and then he made a social media post, and he caught a bunch of backlash for it because he took a picture and he was like smiling and laughing, and people did not like that. New York Post says Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry ripped for disgraceful steak restaurant photo op hours after the New Orleans terror attack. He's been widely ripped for a disgraceful and tone-deaf photo of himself smiling and giving thumbs up outside of a pricey steak restaurant just hours after the deadly New Orleans terror attack. The grinning Republican governor shared the photo of himself posing with restaurant employees outside Bonton Prime Rib on Wednesday night, mere blocks from where the ISIS-supporting terrorists killed 14 New Year's revelers in the city's famed French Quarter. Ate dinner tonight in New Orleans, proud to be part of this incredibly resilient city. And he's smiling and he's all cheerful looking, and people are pissed. Like, bro, this ain't the time for a photo op at the steakhouse. You know that a terrorist attack just happened a couple blocks away, Governor? Not a good look, Governor. Governor? And then here's this dude. But he declared a state of emergency. Let's see, is this a quote from him? The declaration will allow the state to use all its resources before the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras. From day one, this is a quote from Landry. From day one, my commitment to the people of this state has been that we will not look the other way. We will not allow heinous acts of crime, such as the one this morning, to dampen the Louisiana spirit and ruin our way of life. This administration will not tolerate one of the jewel cities of the state to remain with these conditions. The state of emergency is a necessity in order to ensure that every single person, place, and street across the city of New Orleans is the most safe and secure in the world, said Landry. Multiple dead in the terrorist attack. So, that's that. Now, let's move. We can't watch this whole thing. This is 30 minutes long, but this is Fox updates on the driver. They're just talking about the footage. They're just going to be talking about everything I just talked about. So I think we're going to, before we move on to the Cybertruck explosion, we'll take a look at the victims. Give them a moment for the victims. So here's some pictures of all of them. I'm not going to play the video, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's only 10, and there's 14 victims. Matthew Tenedorio. Just give me a list. So we have Matthew Tenedorio. This is, I guess, Matthew. Edward Pettifer. Edward Pettifer. Cheyenne. Nikia Cheyenne Dudot. That's a French name. Cute young girl. Tiger Beck. That's a base name. He's got some ducks in his hand. That guy's cool. Sorry, R.I.P. Reggie Hunter. Kareem Badawi. Hubert Gathrow. Look at all these French names. Gathrow. Drew Dolphin. Spelled Dauphin. Not dolphin. Dolphin. Billy DeMaio. Nicole Perez. Elliot Wilkinson. See, where's this football player guy? Terry Kennedy. Brandon Taylor. Latasha Polk. I think that's it. So those are the victims that have been released so far. RIP. Sucks. Right before Trump comes in, all this terrorist happens. Whether there is some nefarious plan behind it or whether it's just some crazy guy that was just wanted to tally up some people, you know. Regardless, those people are dead because of it, so that's horrible. That's not good. Let's get to the Cybertruck attack. So I think one person died in this, but I thought at first that nobody died in this one. But apparently one person did die. And there's a lot of this guy, Matthew, allegedly, and allegedly he's dead, so... But this guy, Matthew Allen Livelsberger, allegedly drove this car up in front of a Trump Tower in Las Vegas, parked it, and then the story is shot himself in the head with a Desert Eagle and had the Cybertruck on like auto drive, so it would drive up. Well, at least that's what one of the dudes that we're going to talk about from the Sean Ryan podcast was saying is that, well, I'll tell you what their theory is in a second because I don't know if it's true, but allegedly he shot himself with a Desert Eagle and then the bomb was on a timer and it went off in front of the Trump building. And some people are saying that his intention was probably not to hurt anybody, but just to send a message. And there's multiple alleged manifestos now and emails and I don't know, a lot of weird stuff around this one. But let me read what BBC is saying. U.S. law enforcement is looking for clues to unravel the mystery behind the Tesla vehicle that exploded outside Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas earlier this week, giving 7 people minor injuries. So why do I have one story that says somebody died? Maybe that was early reporting. The man who rented the Cybertruck then drove it to the city and parked it in front of the hotel has been identified as Matthew Allen Livelsberger, a 37-year-old active duty U.S. Special Forces soldier. A Green Beret. He was on a History Channel reality show. This guy, Matthew Livelsberger, he went as Matthew Berg on the internet, and he was on a History Channel reality show where they would take teams of 2 guys and make them do like military survival stuff in the wilderness. And according to his partner on the show, I don't mean partner in the, pause way. I mean his partner on the show, his teammate on the show, said that they mopped the competition up. They destroyed all the competition and they had to make it look close on the show. But apparently this guy and another guy won this reality show on History Channel, this Matthew. Isn't that interesting how all these guys that are doing these terrorist things have been on like mainstream media or BlackRock commercials, or History Channel is propaganda garbage, by the way. Not surprising, this guy was on a History Channel reality show. I think History Channel is MK Ultra and people every day. I shouldn't say that. That's a joke, YouTube. That's a joke. But it is brainwashing people. For real. What do they even talk about history related on the History Channel anymore? It's all freaking pyramids and ancient aliens. That's what the History Channel is now. And Christmas is pagan. That's what you learn from the History Channel. All right. Police found his lifeless body inside the charred Tesla with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. They also found fuel canisters and more than a dozen firework mortars in the bed of the vehicle. And this is why the guy that went on Sean Ryan said that it was supposed to be flashy and bright, but not hurt anybody. And the conspiracy is a little wild. The theory that this guy had on the Sean Ryan podcast, but I don't know if it's even, because I didn't really trust the guy when he was talking on the podcast, and now another guy comes out who is involved in like government things, and he's saying, what's this guy's name?
Is there a connection?
Hold on, where is it?
Me in contact with Sean Ryan. I'm like, dude, I don't know Sean Ryan.
Sam Shoemate. This guy, Sam Shoemate, apparently he's put out fake emails before to get some clicks and some attention. He's made fake stories up before. So some people are saying that everything he's saying is made up. It's BS. But now the FBI is coming out with things verifying some of the things that he says. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's get the basics of the story down first. On Thursday, there remained a heightened police presence at the hotel located right off the busy Las Vegas Strip. Yellow police tape cordoned off a small section of the hotel's entrance as employees worked to repair damage to the facade. Authorities continue to work and piece together information. Many questions remain. For example, it's unclear why he rented the car or if the perpetrator was intending to make a political statement ahead of Donald Trump's return to the White House later this month. So he drives the Tesla up, shoots himself, and then it blows up. And what's the reason behind this? Well, the email that this Sam Shoemaker guy got that the FBI is saying is real now. Where's the story? So Newsweek's talking about it now here. Matthew Livelsberger warned people about World War III in alleged manifesto. So, does it have the manifesto in here? You need to elevate this to the media. So they're verifying the email that this Sam Shoemaker guy got. In the email, the guy talks about World War III, talks about drones, saying anti-gravitational or something like that. Gravitron machinery is what the drones are. And this guy's freaked out about the drones. He's talking about government overreach from COVID and the stuff in the food. And this is what the manifesto says. He's upset about all these things, and he's trying to run it up the pole to all these big media. He's trying to get it to Sean Ryan. He's trying to get to the Sam Shoemaker guy. Sending emails to all the shows and all the media saying, I'm trying to blow the whistle on this stuff about the drones. World War III is coming. They have anti-gravitational things. China's got them, and they have a submarine that's releasing drones, and they've been doing this for years. This is what the manifesto says. And the Sam Shoemaker guy implies that the reason he used a Tesla is because it has auto drive function. And they tested the DNA of the body that they found, and it didn't match the DNA of the Matt Livelsberger's guy's son. So the Shoemaker guy was implying that maybe that body's not even his, and the reason they used a Tesla is because it has an auto drive function. They put a body in there, a charred body, and it drives up, blows up, and then they blame it on this Livelsberger guy who's trying to blow the whistle on him. That's the implied conspiracy theory that this Sam Shoemaker guy talked about on the Sean Ryan podcast. And some of that is getting verified by the FBI. The email has been verified. But a lot of the stories have not been verified, and apparently channels are getting taken down for talking about this and the New Orleans truck attack because people are trying to tie them together. They're saying 3-letter agencies had to be involved. They knew about this. Let's watch this video about the connections, the alleged connections, because even Inside Edition is talking about, are they connected? Let's see what they're saying.
The two men who carried out the New Year's Day attacks share several striking similarities. Both are Army vets reportedly deployed to the same Army base, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, now known as Fort Liberty. Both chose to act on New Year's Day within hours of each other. Both drove electric trucks, and they rented them from the same car rental app, Turo.
There are so
see if Dateline is putting all this out. But some people are saying, no, there's no connection. Some people are saying there's obviously a connection.
so many things that are crisscrossing. These are coincidences that really should cause pause.
If these turned out to be simply similarities, very strange similarities to have.
But today, the FBI says they have yet to find a connection.
The electric truck thing, that's a stretch. The New Year's thing, also kind of a stretch. New Year's Day, especially as Trump is coming in on January 20th. You know, we have January 6th today. You know, not a big coincidence. Now, the same rental company, that's a coincidence. Same military base, pretty big coincidence, but that's a common military base for people who have been in the military to go to. But they're both like high-level military guys. One's a Green Beret. Well, the Sashum Jabbar, I don't think he was like decorated, but this Cybertruck guy was a decorated Green Beret. People who knew him said he was a good soldier. And he was trying to blow the whistle on stuff. And then even in his emails, he was saying, I'm not going to be here as of January 1st. So I don't know. The same rental agency, that's a crazy coincidence. Same military base, pretty big deal. The electric truck, look how banged up his truck is. I wonder if he hit a wall or if that can't just be from. Anyway. But yeah, some weird coincidences, some not so strange.
At this point, there is no definitive link.
The surprise attacks came after a night of joyous national celebrations welcoming in the new year. Cops have named the Vegas suspect as Matthew Livelsberger, a 37-year-old Green Beret on leave from active duty in Germany. We found this video of Livelsberger and his ex-wife Sarah, a social worker, waiting at an airport for a red-eye flight to New York.
Now, some people are implying that the reason he did it is because he found out that his son wasn't his, and that's why the DNA didn't match, so he just went off the rails and did this. I think that's gaslighting. I think that's irrelevant. I think that, you know, the DNA being off is strange, though. Makes you question the body that they found in the vehicle. But I don't think that's the motive. I don't think the motive is, I'm going to blow this up in front of Trump Tower and make a big sign because my son's not mine. I don't think that. I think that's a distraction.
New York in 2016.
We're on our way.
Police say Livelsberger drove 12 hours through the night from his home in Colorado Springs to Las Vegas.
Colorado
stopping
Springs.
Twice to recharge.
All the MK Ultraing happens in Colorado Springs. They got freaking underground bases in the mountain, NORAD and other secret military installations up in Colorado. So they're doing some things in the water out there in Aurora and Colorado Springs out there.
The truck's battery.
And everybody who's not an asset is a pothead in Colorado.
The interior of the Tesla Cybertruck is like no other vehicle on the road. You are surrounded by glass, and the steering wheel is rectangular shaped. The monitor here controls everything with a touch screen, and it's pretty comfortable.
Dude, how can you not have a phone going while you're driving, but you can have a giant computer screen in front of you. I'm saying.
And easy to drive. Cops say that the suspect drove around Vegas for an hour before pulling up outside the Trump International Hotel. New surveillance video released today shows the suspect arriving in Las Vegas and driving up to the hotel. He was parked for just 17 seconds before cops say he detonated the homemade bomb in the trunk.
See all the fireworks? So whole trunk load of fireworks. You're not doing that to blow up the building. Like, if this guy has special forces, he has knowledge to put a real explosive device in here that would just take out the bottom floor of that building. You know? But instead, it was gas cans for a big fireball and mortars for sparkles, I guess. He wanted to add sparkles to it. That's just trying to make a sign.
It was made from gas canisters and large fireworks.
This is where the explosives were stored, in the bed of the truck. And because it's built like a tank, the explosion was contained, directing the blast upwards.
Remarkably, the explosion did little damage to the glass lobby of the Trump Hotel. The
So where's the
Cybertruck
person that
itself
died?
was engulfed in
Nobody
flames,
died.
but was left pretty much intact. Tesla
And see, earlier reporting on this said 1 death and like 4 injured. But now I'm hearing that nobody died. And the video I just saw, nobody was in the... It looked like somebody was trying to come out the doors, but then they showed the inside camera angle and there was nobody trying to come out the doors. So...
boss Elon Musk proudly boasted. The evil knuckleheads picked the wrong vehicle for a terrorist attack. So why did he use a Cybertruck?
Or they picked the exact right vehicle to send a message and to have a sign to paint a picture.
The answer seems obvious.
The idea of getting the Elon Musk signature car and bringing it to the gold Trump sign in Las Vegas.
Right. Filled with fireworks. Like, he picked that vehicle for the message he was trying to send. But what is the message? Like, what is the message? If you think China's trying to take us out with drones, you think Trump and Elon are helping with that or what? What are you trying to say?
Vegas, it really suggests...
Who's more likely to get us into World War III? I guess this guy thinks Elon and Trump are going to send us to World War III. What are they helping fund the drones? I don't know what the message he's trying to send is. You'd think if you're going to do something like this, you'd make it very clear. Like the manifesto isn't even really a manifesto. It's just emails to all these different people to try to blow a whistle on something. You know, I don't know.
He's trying to send a message.
President-elect Trump is reacting to the targeting of his Vegas hotel today. The USA is breaking down. A violent erosion of safety, national security, and democracy is taking place.
So these things are happening a lot, and people are saying it's going to be a bloody 2025. There's going to be a lot more craziness like this happening. And we know they're going to do everything they can to stop Trump from getting done what needs to be done. So Matthew Livelsberger emailing his Matthew Berg to these people. Let me see. New videos paint clearer picture of Trump Hotel Cybertruck explosion from Fox. 2 new videos have been released in relation to Wednesday's Cybertruck explosion outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas as investigators try to piece together what caused an active duty U.S. Army soldier to kill himself and then blow up the electric pickup truck. And then, it's odd. Like, if you have it on a timer, why wouldn't you just get out and walk away? You can't tell your story if, I don't know. It seems fishy. First video shows the Tesla Cybertruck slowly leaving the hotel's valet area earlier in the morning, while the second video is taken from inside the hotel and shows the truck exploding, sending flames and fireworks into the air. Investigators believe Matthew Livelsberger, 37, shot himself in the head before blowing up the futuristic-looking truck outside the iconic hotel, sending flames, fireworks, and shrapnel upwards just steps away from the hotel's glass doors. Livelsberger was the only fatality. Oh, that's the one death. Okay. That's the one dead. Is him. Duh. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. The first video is surveillance footage and shows who police say is Livelsberger driving the rented Cybertruck slowly out of the hotel's valet area, Clark County Sheriff Kevin McHill says Livelsberger then visited several places along the Las Vegas Strip, including the parking lot of a business near the Flamingo Hotel. In another clip, the truck is stopped at traffic lights on Sands Avenue, and then Livelsberger takes a right turn toward Trump International, where he ultimately stops outside the front doors, and 17 seconds later, the truck goes up in flames. Authorities say the truck contained gasoline and canned fuel containers, as well as large firework mortars. The explosion occurred just steps away from the hotel's glass doors, which were not damaged. Second video taken by a witness in the hotel's lobby shows the truck in flames after the initial explosion. An alarm inside the hotel can be heard going off, and emergency lights are flashing. So, I don't know, but Las Vegas ex-girlfriend shares days-old texts of him bragging about Tesla Cybertruck. Yeah, so he was sending messages to his girlfriend, taking his pictures of his new Cybertruck, but the truck was rented. An ex-girlfriend of the Las Vegas explosion suspect reported shared text messages with the FBI just days ago, playfully bragging about his rented Tesla Cybertruck. How long did he rent it for? So he rents it, and he's bragging that he rented it, knowing that he's going to do this. That's an odd move. Odd move, Cotton. What do you say? Good plan. What do you say? Good play, Cotton. Nature shows are just about when filming animals. What are you talking about, Dean? Let's watch this Sean Ryan thing. I'm sure that we can't play this for too long, but I do want to play this clip about the manifesto from the emails, which isn't really a manifesto because it's not. It's talking about the things he's worried about, but it doesn't say that's why he's going to do what he's going to do or what he's going to do. Let's listen to this.
I'm not that big, but he's insistent that I get him diverted to media sources, says go to Fox News, whatever else. And I said, all right, tell me what you got. So I give him my Proton email account, give him my signal number, and he reaches out immediately. And I'm going to read this initial message for you because this doesn't have names or anything else on it, but this was his message on Sunday. He reached out and said, like I said, this last Sunday.
I'm sure Sean Ryan has a lot of copyright stuff, so we're going to go 1.25, and we're going to pause it a lot.
He said, sending with a VPN active on Wi-Fi only. Do not message me. I will send out updates via both Signal and email, but trust me, you're going to want to be involved. Well, first of all, no, I didn't want to be involved. Anyways, and then, so I didn't message. I responded back to his original Instagram message, and I said, hey, I got your message on Proton Mail. And he said, cool, delete this. So I deleted it. That's how I ended up getting this message on Tuesday. So the message that this right here.
All right, read it.
My initial take was, okay, this is off the deep end. It's bonkers. I can't validate or verify any of the stuff in this manifesto. Mm-hmm. And I told him that in a subsequent email. And I'll read that to you later, my response to him. And once again, my response said, Pete Hegseth, get me in contact with Hegseth. And I'm like, dude, I don't have the incoming thing.
What date was that?
That was Tuesday. That was this to the attack. Something on it.
Okay, let's be honest.
I'm trying to get to when he reads the
exhausting.
BetterHelp. You guys need BetterHelp.
I told your producer about this as well. But this was a post I made on Twitter. It didn't mean anything about it. I was just being gravity tech to the media. It was the body of him, who he was. I get these crazy messages sometimes. And it seems that's how it was.
I'm trying to just get to where he reads
while you're digging through that, you know what we should do? I should get that
maybe the email's back here
from you to see if they messaged any of our Instagram accounts. And we should also add email too.
Nobody I've asked in the community knows him. You there to protect the command. Articles and different stuff. And
I don't know where the email is. Why it's supposed to be in this
Zulu who I've spoken
in the episode. You passed that, I believe you passed that email on to the FBI.
Oh, here it is.
We're also going to pass it on to our
in case I do not make it to my decision point or onto the Mexico border, I am sending this now. Please do not release this until 1 January and keep my identity private until then. First off, I am not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. What we have been seeing with drones, he puts that in quotes, he says drones, is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China.
Gravitic propulsion systems. Now, he says that gravitic is not a word that the military uses, and that if you look up gravitic propulsion systems, you just get brought to a bunch of science fiction, fantasy type stories, fiction stories. They write about gravitic propulsion systems. It's an odd way to basically say UAPs, vehicles that fly with some sort of gravitational technology. And Sean Ryan and him both say, yeah, we've looked into this. Military lingo, that's not a word they would use, but it is an oddly specific word for him to use. It could show that he's either very conspiracy brained or he knows something that the main public doesn't know, because they talk about how it's odd that he calls it that.
In the East Coast, but throughout history, the U.S. Only we in China have this capability. Our OPSEN, that's Operations Center, our OPSEN location for this activity it is in the box below. China has been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years, but this activity recently has picked up. As of now, it is just a show of force, and they are using it similar to how they used the balloon for SIGINT and ISR.
He talks about the balloons. It's a balloon update. It's a balloon update. We knew something was fishy with this dang balloon, and now it's being verified.
Which are also part of the integrated comm system. There are dozens of those balloons in the air at any given time. The so what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned aircraft. They are the most dangerous threat to national security that has ever existed. They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park it over the White House if they wanted. It's checkmate. U.S. government needs to give the history of this, how we are employing it and weaponizing it, how China is employing them, and what the way forward is. China is poised to attack anywhere in the East Coast. I've been followed for over a week now from likely Homeland or FBI, and they are looking to move on me and are unlikely going to let me cross into Mexico, but won't because they know I am armed and I have a massive VBID. Let me pause right there for a second. So he says a massive VBID. When I was talking to the FBI yesterday, they didn't know what a VBID was. I had to explain what that acronym meant, literally.
You fucking serious?
Dead serious. I said it twice and he goes, you said that word VBID. Can you tell me what that is? For your audience, a VBID, for your audience who has not been in the GWOT for the last 20 years, a VBID is a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. In layman's terms, a car bomb, what we saw.
Vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. So they know I'm armed and have a massive VBID. So he's talking about having a car explosion in the email, a car explosive in the email days before.
At Trump Tower. So backing up, he says, I am armed and have a massive VBID. I've been trying to maintain a very visible profile and have kept my phone, and they are definitely digitally tracking me. Here's where he gets into the other stuff.
So is this dude just a paranoid conspiracy theorist guy, or what does he know? It seems like he is legit military and he's trying to blow the whistle on some things, and they're tracking him. They know he has a car explosive. They're watching him. And what? Did they let this happen? Or I don't know. There's a lot of questions.
And this is where we had to redact the names. Well, your producer redacted the names. I have knowledge of this program and also war crimes that were covered up during airstrikes in Nimruz province, Afghanistan in 2019 by the admin, DOD, DEA, and CIA. I conducted targeting for these strikes of over 125 buildings.
So 2019, he's saying war crimes that were covered up in 2019 during the admin. So this is maybe why he has something against Trump. He's saying Trump was doing these war crimes in these other countries, and that's why he did this at the Trump Tower. Is that the implication? 2019 administration. Well, no, Trump was. Yeah. Trump would have been president.
Buildings. 65 were struck because of civcas, that's civilian casualties, that killed hundreds of civilians in a single day. U.S. FORA continued strikes after spotting civilians on initial ISR. It was supposed to take 6 minutes and scramble all aircraft in CENTCOM. The UN basically called these war crimes, but the administration made them disappear. I was part of that cover-up with U.S. FORA, an agent, redacted, of the DEA. So I don't know if my abduction attempt is related to either. I worked with, redacted, IO staff on this as well as the response to Bala Murghab. Redacted commander at the time, redacted, can validate this. You need to elevate this to the media so we avoid a world war because this is a mutually assured destruction situation. Then he says, for vetting, my LinkedIn is Matt Berg or Matthew Livelsberger, an active duty 18 Zulu out of 110, that's 1st Battalion 10th Special Forces Group. My profile is public. I have an active TSSCI with UAP.
Okay, so that was from the Sean Ryan podcast. Now, another guy made a video trying to discredit or debunk everything that this Sam Shoemake guy is saying. Apparently, this guy has a history of releasing fake emails on the internet, but as we showed earlier, at least from Newsweek, they're saying the FBI has verified this email. And they're so this guy was under watch. It's crazy. Now, on top of that, we also have multiple explosives found and threats. So from the Idaho Statesman, trains halted, FBI involved, explosive device found on train car in Treasure Valley. Police halted train activity for hours after footprints in the snow led officers to an explosive device on a train car on New Year's Day. After footprints in the snow, police halted train activity after footprints in the snow led officers to an explosive device on a train car. Received reports of a suspicious subject who has been seen attempting to light something on fire near a parked railroad car. And apparently he had a bunch of fireworks. Officers arriving at the scene just before 6 p.m. found fresh footprints leading to a train car that had suspected undetonated improvised explosive device, also known as an IED. Payette Police Department. Pipe bomb style device made out of polyvinyl chloride plastic was found on a step connected to the outside of the train car. Further footprints led to a camp trailer parked near the residence in the 600 block. After a short foot pursuit, he said law enforcement from additional agencies arrived at the scene to handle the explosive, including the Nampa Police Department. Okay, so this is the Nampa thing. Trains halted, FBI involved, explosive device found in a train car. This is from East Idaho News. Now, see, but they said it's an IED, but then this is the picture. Suspect arrested from Idaho 6. Suspect arrested for possessing explosive device. Skips Payette County arraignment. Parents decry overreaction. So it was reported he has an IED, and he's trying to light this IED. Then he skips an arraignment. He's a kid, and these are fireworks. These are like what are these, like M60s? An uneventful arraignment occurred in Payette County where 40-year-old suspect Brent 40 did not attend his scheduled appearance. The parents of the man accused of trying to set off a pipe bomb in Payette train car were audibly frustrated. Shirai has been in custody since his New Year's Day arrest. Brent Shirai. After someone called Payette police, report a suspicious person attempting to light something on fire around the train cars. They didn't locate anybody immediately, but they were, because of the fresh snow, able to find footprints. Blah, blah, blah. Shirai told officers he made his own firework for a New Year's celebration to get a bigger boom. Whose bomb squad helped detonate the explosive. The pipe was about 8 inches long and 3... Okay, so what is this picture of? Maybe he used these little M60 to make a bigger version of it. So he was just trying to make a little... From his perspective, or what he's saying, is he was just trying to make a little bomb to blow up on New Year's. They're saying he was trying to blow up this train car, a parked train car, with nobody in it, I'm assuming. I spoke with Shirai's family outside the courthouse, who offered some insight into what they say he was using to make his homemade explosive. You can get them at any fireworks stand, said his ex-girlfriend. Parents said he has multiple behavioral diagnoses and described them as a child in an adult's body. He's 40 years old. Maybe quit babying him. They also worry recent events in New Orleans and Las Vegas are blowing Brent's case out of proportion. That could be true. That could definitely be true. Obviously, everybody's on high alert, Marshall admits. Something of that nature is located. You never know what the intention is. Obviously, further into the investigation, we're able to determine that this was not that severe of an event, but we have to handle it as though it is until we know otherwise. So, yeah, this could be fear. You know, this kid is 40-year-old man, and they're acting like he's a kid because of his mental illnesses. Man arrested. Okay, so I don't know. I think that one might be just getting news because of the timing and what it looks like. But I don't know. I don't see that guy was trying to. He's not like he was on a train loaded with people with a bomb. He was out in the woods by a parked train car. Now, maybe you can't just go around blowing up train cars even if nobody's in them. So there's still a problem with that, but I don't think that's like a terrorist attack or something like that. just a dude that made a little boom boom on New Year's. And there's an old train car in the woods, and he's like, let's see if we can blow it up. Shouldn't do that, but, you know. But then more trouble for New Orleans. Man arrested after making false bomb threat in French Quarter, New Orleans police say. A man was arrested on Saturday after falsely claiming that he had a bomb in his bag at the store in the French Quarter. Employees observed Mark Ball, 62, attempting to steal items in the store. After the employees approached them, he told him he had a bomb in his bag. Okay, so this is a nothing burger. This is a crazy guy who's robbing the store, and he's like, I got a bomb. This is not. False bomb threat comes as the city is on high alert. Yeah, not a good time to say you have a bomb, buddy. After Shamsuddin Jabbar placed pipe bombs in a pair of ice chests in Bourbon Street, then drove a truck through crowds on the street. Oh, he put bombs in ice chests? Huh. See, I didn't even see that in the other story. So, just everybody seeing on the news all this bomb stuff. Now people are, I don't know. And then last but not least, the third mass shooting. We had 2 last week, and then here's the third. They come in 3s. I guess now in America, they just happen all the time, and we're always hearing about it. But we have 10 wounded in mass shooting outside Queens nightclub. Let's watch this. Oh, I don't think there's any reporting to this. So this was earlier in the week. Queens nightclub shooting. Whoa. Did my mic just get weird? I think it's the same. Probably young party goers. Some youthful party goers. So there's nothing in this video. At least 10 people, mainly teenagers, were injured in a mass shooting outside of a nightclub in Queens. Some young party goers getting a little rambunctious. A group of 4 men fired at least 30 gunshots into the crowd that gathered near the Amazura nightclub in Jamaica, Queens, just before 11:20 after a private event at the location, according to cops and sources. Who was hosting the event? NYPD at the scene, shooting. 6 females and 4 males, ranging in the age from 16 to 20. Why are there 16-year-olds at a nightclub? Were struck by bullets, NYPD officials said at a Thursday morning press conference. Police are searching for a light-colored sedan in connection with the shooting. None of the victims are in critical condition, and all are expected to survive. Victims were transported to area hospitals, including Long Island Jewish Hospital and Cohen Children's Medical Center, according to sources. A massive police and ambulance response outside Amazura was seen in the footage posted to the Citizen app. I have one other story reporting on this. This is 4 News NBC in New York. Let's see what they're saying. 10 people were shot. 4 gunmen opened fire. All of the victims in the 144th Street shooting outside Amazura nightclub, 7 young women and 3 young males, according to NYPD Police Chief Detective Joseph Kenny, are expected to survive. According to the investigation, police got multiple 911 calls shortly after 11 p.m. for a shooting at the club. Roughly 90 people were inside, upstairs, a private venue, celebrating the life of a 16-year-old who was shot to death in October. So this is some sort of gang violence thing. 16-year-old was shot to death. They're having a remembrance of his life. And then the enemies slide up on the memorial to try to take out some more of the enemies. That's what I'm getting from this. Authorities say that's when 3 to 4 males believed to be in their mid to late teens to early 20s walked up and opened fire on the group standing outside the club. Surveillance video showed the gunman. Now, why don't they say this is gun violence? Maybe because they have gang violence. Why don't they say this is gang violence? Maybe it's because they have a gang task force that is working on this and they don't want to put information out to the public. But they never do this. When it's obviously gang violence, they never say this is gang violence. You know, these are rival gangs. The 16-year-old that they were celebrating his life died in a shootout because of gang violence. And now they were doing a retaliatory attack because of gang violence. Why don't they say that? I think it's a safe assumption to make. But they won't say it. None of the victims has a criminal history, according to the police sources. No arrests have been made. The owner of the venue said they were working closely with police. There's zero tolerance for these senseless shootings. But what's the motive? Why don't you care about motive when it's something like this? These horrible acts of violence on our streets and those responsible for this crime will be apprehended and brought to justice. There was a separate shooting hours later that left a 17-year-old shot in the stomach. Police sources believe it was related to the shooting in Queens on New Year's Day. Okay, this is back to the other story. So lots of craziness in America as Trump is going to come in. It is the anniversary of January 6th. And, you know, it is, what do we call it? 79 days of terror. 79 days of terror in between November 20th election and January 20th inauguration. We see a lot of violence. And it takes different forms. So we saw the horrible acts, the tragedy that was the insurrection on January 6th 4 years ago. Now we're seeing it in a different form. Terrorism, shootings, bombs, cars driving through crowds. Got to get people afraid before the new administration takes place. And then they can blame it all on Trump. They could say, all this terrorism's happening because you're coming into office, Trump. It's your fault. Yeah, that's about what it looks like. All right, but that's it for the main story news. Enough depressing stuff. Still don't have my soundboard. I guess maybe now that I have this new mic, we're going to move this mic over to here. I think it's going to be better to have the boom over here and coming down this way. So it's not blocking the TV and it's not taking up this whole side area. It'll just come in this way and the mic will be right here. I think that'll be better, but I'll have to set it up. I didn't have time to set it up before today, so we'll have to do it later. But let's get to the memes. I still don't have the soundboard, but I have a crisp sounding mic so I can do my own sound effects. All right, you guys ready? It's time for the memes. That's the nuke sound. All right, let's go. Good job, Mariah. Now get some rest. The battle's over, Mariah. You did great. That's Ash Ketchum. Put her back in the Pokeball, Ash. Put away Mariah. The holidays are over. What up, Mariah? Looking good, girl. Ugh. Get her in a Pokeball, Ash. All right, next. Juggalos. Instead of lows, it's juggalos. And we have a juggalo employee. You can fit mad burgers on this bitch. You can fit mad burgers on this grill. On this bitch right here. Actually, that's a little too ghetto for a juggalo. You can fit mad burgers on this bitch. Juggalos. Next. Mount Rushmore from the Canadian side. It's a bunch of asses. That's the asses of the American forefathers. That's all you get. Look at our hind ends, Canada. Next. Boing. So this is like a flat earther, a truther, even though nothing they say is truth, but type meme. So they say a Boeing 747 carries 63,500 gallons of fuel. Where do they put it? This is a 60,000-gallon water tank for reference. Take as long as you need to here. Okay, first off, now if you go in the comments of this, you see everybody roasting the hell out of them. There's videos of guys walking around in airliner fuel tanks. There's diagrams of planes that show the fuel reserves in the wings, how big a Boeing 747 is. You have no size reference in this picture. This could not be that big. Like this thing, if you stretched it out long, could probably fit in the wings of a Boeing 747. But another comment that everybody was making in the comment section is that on planes, they don't even measure in gallons. They measure in pounds. And compressed fuel, a gallon of compressed fuel is not the same volume as a gallon of milk in your refrigerator. It's not the same volume. It's not the same weight. It's not the same size. It's different. It's pressurized and it's compressed. And it's probably a less dense liquid. And it's not even measured in gallons. It's measured in pounds. And this thing is not that big. If you stretch this out, maybe you haven't seen how big a Boeing 747 is, but it's freaking huge. The point is, don't get your conspiracies from memes. Up close, a 747 wing is gigantic. Yeah, exactly, Dean. And they had videos of dudes walking around inside the fuel tanks in the wings, and it's like half a football field, and that's one wing. Maybe not 50 yards, but big. They're big. Yeah, they can fit that fuel in there. Anyway, next. Motherfucker went shopping at Ked, Kath, and Keon. This the crib bathroom. This the crib. Oh, they wouldn't say bathroom because that starts with a B. This the crib Kath room. We washing up in the crib Kath room. We got this at Ked, Kath, and Keon. Went shopping at Ked, Kath, and Keon. Next. Did you know all shrimp were born male but slowly grow into females as they mature? Xavier said like TikTokers. TikTokers are basically like shrimp. Next. Listen, if drunk me said or did something, you got to take it up with drunk me. Don't come at sober me. We weren't there. We don't know what happened. Thank you, Kermit. It's not easy being green. Listen, if drunk me said or did something, you got to take it up with drunk me. Don't come at sober me. We weren't there. We don't know what happened. Thank you, Kermit. Next. A good kick in the balls will solve your gender confusion. Thank you, Clint. Clint Eastwood directed a new movie called Juror Number 2 that's out right now. It's a pretty good movie. I recommend it if you have not seen it. Next. Teacher, the test isn't that difficult. The test. Who is this? Who is this? You know who that is, guys? That's the Barack Obama. It doesn't matter who it is. Instead of Barack Obama, that's the Rock Obama. Beta. Next. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC on Twitter says we must abolish the death penalty. Seamus says, unless they do something really messed up like be a fetus. If it's a fetus, death penalty. Right, AOC? Next. It's Bane. You're probably wondering why. Or wait, hold on. You're probably wondering why a man... Why can't I used to be able to do Bane good. It's weird with the mic. You're probably wondering why a man would shoot himself in the head before blowing himself up in a Cybertruck. You're probably wondering why a man would shoot himself in the head before blowing up a Cybertruck. Yeah, I am wondering that, Bane. That is odd. Next. Barack says, Trump, you're destroying my legacy. We need to talk, man. We need to talk man to man, Trump. You're destroying my legacy, Trump. Trump says, okay, put Michelle on the phone. If I'm damaging your reputation and we need to talk man to man, let me talk to Big Mike. Because we know you're not the man in that relationship, Barack. Everybody knows. Next. Hannah Montana, Joe Montana, and Tony Montana pose next to their Pontiac Montana while road tripping through Montana. It's AI. I saw another one of these. These are pretty funny. I forget what it was. Next. Sometimes the memes just make themselves. Look at this lady sleeping on a train. She's thinking about a chicken Sammy. She's dreaming of a Popeye's chicken sandwich. Nice. Blom. Let's go. Next. Mom, I'm dating our neighbor. What? He could be your dad. Age is not an issue, Mom. No, I don't think you understand me. He could be your dad. I slept with the neighbor too, honey. Dang. Mom and daughter both sluts. Slut. Dang. Next. This is so funny. Granny had two passions in life, LSD and ducks. Granny took LSD and she thinks she's feeding the ducks. Those are alligators, Granny. Granny, they're going to eat you. Granny's feeding the ducks on acid, tripping on acid, feeding some gators thinking they're ducks. Dun-na, 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 dun-na. Next. So I got this great idea. Instead of a bidet, which is gay, This is a self toilet papering machine. Look, you put your feet on the pedals. You pedal as you sit on the toilet and take your number 2. It falls through the toilet paper, unrolls from the top, and you just pedal your feet to make it run through. That is a brilliant idea. Brilliant. Next. The train going at the bus. The worst she can say is no. I have a penis. No, that's the worst she could say. Boom. Dang, I thought the worst she could say was no. It's worse if she says yes, and then later she says she has a penis. Next. Cast iron is the best cooking surface. Non-stick, lasts a lifetime. Jews consider us a cattle according to the Talmud. No harmful chemical coating and even heat distribution. It's just a frying pan, guys. It's a great frying pan. If you ever want a frying pan, remember all those key points about the frying pan. Next. Breaking. Here's a little info meme. The suspects in yesterday's attacks on Bourbon Street in New Orleans and Trump Tower in Las Vegas both served at Fort Bragg, the same military base Ryan Ruth visited over 100 times before attempting to take Donald Trump's life. All being watched by the FBI, all involved with the military, all on lists, all known. Isn't that odd? Next. I've noticed that everyone who owns a boat seems to be a Trump supporter. That's because there's currently no government program that gives boats away for free. You have to work for a boat. That's why boat owners support Trump. Because poor people don't have boats. Because they don't get free boats. The Democrats have never offered, if you elect me, I'll get you a free boat. The day that happens, you'll see all the boat owners will be Democrats. Next. Say the line, FBI. Say the line, FBI. He was on our radar. We knew it, FBI. We already knew that, FBI. Merry Christmas. Happy Schwanza. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Schwanza. Next. January 1st. New year, new me. January 3rd. Doritos and beer, baby. Pizza, Doritos, beer, cigarettes. No gym. Let's go. They say the second Friday in January is Quitter's Day. That's when people give up on their New Year's resolution. I just say don't make New Year's resolutions, and then you can't fail on your New Year's resolution. Next, from the Sun. This one's crazy. So much suffering. Woman who went to India to cure her depression. She's trying to cure her depression. She was raped, beheaded, and found hanged upside down in a forest. Maybe don't go to India to cure your seasonal depression. Now if she went to India to cure her depression, she ended up raped and hung upside down and beheaded in a forest. She must have had treatment-resistant depression. I guess she had treatment-resistant depression because she went to India for the treatment and it didn't work out. Her depression was treatment-resistant, and now she's even more depressed. She lost her battle with depression. Oh, man. Mental illness. Next. Embrace the warmth of sanctuary cities. Oh, no. That's a lady on fire. Next. Get that off my screen. What the? Did you know? I think I've done this one before. Did you know if you press on the gas and brake pedals at the same time, your car will take a screenshot? Try it, guys. I'm just kidding. That's misinformation. Don't do that. Don't do that. It does not take a screenshot. Next. Ocasio-Cortez severely burned after accidentally touching a book on basic economics. She's reading some Thomas Sowell, and she's on fire. Beta. Wah, 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 wah. She's reading Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell. She's caught on fire. Same thing happens if she touches a Bible. Next. Male pattern baldness affects 30 to 50% of men by age 50. That is a man, baby. That's dang Big Mike. Got some alopecia. Next. Don't blame the holidays. You were fat in August. It's not seasonal obesity. It's not mental illness. You were fat before the holidays. It's not just because of the holidays that you got fat. You were always fat. Next. What up, Amanda? Mom, did you want a boy or a girl? Mom says, I wanted a back rub. That guy said he was going to give me a back rub, and he ended up giving me a baby. What the? Next. When you get off the toilet after hours of scrolling through memes. Leg lock. Dude, this is funny because it's true. I sit like that when I'm streaming. I cross my legs and put them in the chair because I love that feeling. When your leg goes to sleep and it's all tingly and it's like sending shocks up your leg. I love it. Next. We had 24-hour Walmarts and $1 McChickens. We had it all. They took it all away with COVID. Next. Either way you go, you gon' get shot at. This is the worst interstate choice ever. Memphis, St. Louis, or Chicago. Where am I going? Either way, you're gonna die. Memphis, you're gonna die. St. Louis, you're gonna die. Chicago, you're gonna die twice. Next. Here's a horoscope for everybody. Jimmy Carter. Attend Trump's inauguration? Nah. Die. Hey, that's a good idea. Dang. Next. Rest in peace, Jimmy Carter. You are our most Scarlett Johansson looking president. He do kind of look like Scarlett Johansson, though. R.I.P. Jimmy. Next. When you order a large pizza and your wife asks for a slice. So I married a communist. I get pizza. You just want to share? You just want a handout? What is this? Communism? You damn commie. No offense, but it sounds like some commie gobbledygook. Next. Me saving refugees. Help me, help me, help me. Nice try. High five. Then I got to wash my hands. Next. Bro, one of the guys at work was listening to his phone, and I guess his headphones must have died or something because he was playing it loud. And he was listening to Nick Fuentes on a Twitter space. And the guy's a little odd, I guess. I've talked to him a couple times. He seems cool. He just seems a little odd, but he's listening to Fuentes on X playing loud on his phone, and Nick is talking about getting rid of all the illegals, and all the people at our work are like immigrants, and they're like walking by him, listening to him, looking at him weird. And I walked up to him. I was like, "You listening to Fuentes?" And he's like, "Yeah, I like him. He says some really good analysis." And I was like, "Yeah, me too. Everybody hates him though." And I was like, I was listening to that earlier because I was listening to him on X earlier in the night, and it was pretty funny. He's like, "Oh, that's cool. You listen to this guy too?" I was like, "Yeah, I listen to him." All right, feminists. Men are trash. Women are equal to men. Huh? What does that mean? It means what you think it means. They are who we thought they were. Next. Oh no, Elon's about to get gangbanged by cheap immigrant workers. Bunch of Viveks jumping up on Elon. What the? Beta. That's no good. Elon. Come on now. Elon next. With a pink unicorn shirt on. Half Chinese, half Italian. Linguini. Linguini. You never listened to Fuentes before? I like him. Sometimes. Half Chinese, half Italian. Linguini. Nick. You've been asleep, Cap, for almost 70 years. Internally, he's thinking, why is this Negro talking to me? It's not racist. He comes from 70 years ago. He doesn't know how to deal with African Americans talking to him in public. Cap doesn't know how to deal with this. He came from a different time. And why do you have a patch on your eye? Next. When 10 pants aren't enough, 11 pants. Captions. Is he only on Twitter? He's on, I think, Rumble. Cozy.tv is his streaming network. But yeah, he's on X too. He does X spaces and stuff. Are you friend? Hello, Josh. Oh, hello, Josh. How are you, friend? All is well, John. All is well. Trying to get through this before 8:30. Remember who you are. This is false. This is fake news. This is fake news. A T-Rex is not a freaking chicken, okay? If you think this came from this, then you think that we came from fish. And if you think we came from fish, then, you know, I don't know. But this did not come from this. Now, I don't even know if the T-Rex is real. I think they're lying to us about the T-Rex. But raptors did not come from chickens. The behemoth, the beast of man, the brontosauruses, the sauropods, those are real. I don't know if the T-Rex is real, but I know it didn't turn into a chicken. I know that much. Next. If you're ever having a bad day, just remember this guy found out he was dead and was still going to work. Bruce is actually dying in real life, I think. He's pretty not doing well. It's going to be sad. Bruce Willis is a great actor. And that's it for the memes. Okay. Only got 2 reels this week and some rapid fire news. We didn't get into any politics in the first segment. We'll get some politics, some geopolitics, a couple local news stories, potentially an idea for a new video. I'll show you. By the way, Amanda, since you're here, I said in a stream earlier, the scooter video is coming, but the tire went flat, so I had to order new solid tires, and I have to put them on. So I'll record when I put them on, and then I'll edit that into the review video, and I'll have to do the review video with the new tires and explain in the review video that the tires go flat pretty easily. So if you buy it, you might want to buy the solid tires with it, and then so I can review the scooter and the solid tires once I put them on, which is not, hopefully it's easy. We'll see, but my cashier just told me that about Bruce last night. Yeah, he's real sick. I'm not sure what he has. I forget what it is. But yeah, he's doing pretty rough. All right, let's watch some funny reels. We only have 2 of them, and then we'll burn through this rapid fire news. Nothing big planned for the last segment. Just a little 2024 review. Stuff I plan to do in 2025, and if I have time, I'll show you my Strong's Concordance and explain how it works and what you do with it. But let's watch some funny reels. This lady's walking down the street, and this guy tries to grab her purse, and everybody's going to try to save her. This is on Nolia. He's been preparing for this moment. Well, that's not going to work. He's been preparing for this moment. He does jujitsu. He's on the ground. Come on. Come get me.
Excuse me, help!
Oh, she's going to save you. She's a stripper. Nobody's helping you, lady. Nobody does any practical exercise. All right. One more. This is Stubborn One. I know Stubborn One's always playing with his weapons, his weaponry, but this guy's tearing up these wooden posts with his swords. Check this out. Dude, he almost gets whacked in the face like 8 times. This dude's a ninja. Oh, he almost got. This dude's a dang ninja. I'm not even going to front like I don't want to turn. Okay. The new Avengers. All right. So that's it for that. Update on speaker thing. I think we might have covered this last week, but CNN is reporting Mike Johnson wins dramatic vote to remain the House Speaker. Posted a photo with Trump. So Mike Johnson will be the House Speaker. That's been confirmed. Update on the H-1B visas that we talked about last week. Maybe I meant to put this in last week's show and I forgot, or maybe it's new news, but 2025's H-1B costs revealed. Fees climb higher than ever for U.S. employers. Entry into the lottery requires a $10 registration fee, a figure unchanged since 2024. This small charge marks the first step for protective applicants. With 2025 kicking in, H-1B visa hopefuls and their employers are bracing for the intricate costs tied to this coveted work permit. The H-1B program allows U.S. employers to hire foreign workers in specialized roles, but comes with a hefty fees that vary by circumstances. So $10, breaking down the costs. Where's the article? Where's the rest of the article? I want to let me... Oh, here we go. I got to click read more. $10 gateway, mandatory filing fees. Employees must shell out $460. So the person trying to enter into the lottery only pays $10, but the employers shell out $460 as a base filing fee. Added to this is a $500 anti-fraud fee for first-time applicants for those switching employers, aiming to curb misuse. Hefty employer surcharge. Companies with over 50 employees where more than half hold H-1B or L-1 visas face a $4,000 fee under the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2016. This surcharge stays effective through September 2025. Employers in a rush can opt for premium processing at a steep $2,805. This service guarantees processing within 15 days, a necessity for critical hires in time-sensitive industries. Who pays what? Employers shoulder most of the financial burden covering the filing and anti-fraud fees, along with optional premium processing. The $4,000 additional employer fee also lies squarely with them. Employees, meanwhile, may pay visa stamping and interview-related fees. So it's a big money-making thing to flood immigrants into America. Sounds like a bad idea, Elon and Vivek. What's this say? Do your eyes ever bother you from staring at your computer? No. Sometimes if I stream for like 12 hours and I'm tired, my eyes kind of start to burn, but not usually. Little more on politics. U.S. House ushers in a tiny Republican majority to tackle enormous tasks in 2025. So we did get majority in the House, but not a huge majority. With members resigning and departing for Trump's administration, the House GOP could have a 0-vote margin for defection in the crucial early months of his presidency. The new Congress began Friday, ushering in a tiny House Republican majority to tackle enormous tasks in the first year of Donald Trump's second term, from keeping the government open to averting a calamitous debt default to advancing the president-elect's immigration and tax ambitions. Republicans won a 220 to 215 seat majority in the 2024 elections, but they started off with 219 members as former Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida resigned and opted not to reclaim his seats. They had dirt on our boy. House Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican of Louisiana, was reelected to his post by a single vote on Friday after some drama, losing the only defection he could afford in Representative Thomas Massie, Republican of Kentucky. He flipped two other initial holdouts after keeping the first ballot open, but holding the gavel was the easy part. What comes next will present the biggest test of the Louisiana Republicans' political career. Johnson's majority is poised to shrink even further in the coming weeks, with Trump announcing he'll pick two House Republicans to serve in his administration, Michael Waltz of Florida to be the National Security Advisor, and Elise Stefanik of New York to be United Nations Ambassador. Replacing them is likely to take months. If both leave before Gaetz is replaced, that would cut the majority to an even more tenuous 217 to 215, meaning a single Republican defection could tank a bill unless Democrats vote in favor. In other words, House Republicans will have a 0-vote margin for defection in the crucial early months of Trump's presidency. Even when the party returns to full strength, the House majority could have trouble passing party line legislation if a handful of members fall ill, have scheduling conflicts, or experience weather delays, preventing them from getting to Washington in time for key votes. Republicans will have a slightly larger majority in the Senate, 53 to 47, when senators are sworn in Friday and begin work on scheduling hearings. So, close House, a little bit more of a majority in the Senate, and our majority in the House may get slimmer as some of Trump's picks move into their new positions. South Korea, so that's America political news updates. Now we got a little geopolitics, a little update on what's happening in South Korea. From Reuters, South Korean presidential guards prevent arrest of impeached Yoon Suk. So they were they impeached him. Remember, they were going to impeach him. They were trying to get him impeached. The people were protesting. They did impeach him. And now they're trying to arrest him, but the presidential guards were not allowing it, which led to a standoff. Let's watch this.
Authorities failed to carry out an arrest warrant for impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol Friday. For several hours, a dramatic standoff unfolded at Yoon's compound. Investigators led by the CIO, or Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials, confronted members of the Presidential Security Service and soldiers who were seconded to them. By 1:30 p.m., the CIO called off the effort to arrest Yoon as it was concerned about the safety of its personnel. In a statement, it said it was judged that it was virtually impossible to execute the arrest warrant due to the ongoing standoff, and the office deeply regretted Yoon's attitude of non-compliance. Local media say the chief and vice chief of the Presidential Security Service are under investigation for obstruction of justice. Yoon has been under investigation for insurrection over his declaration of martial law last month, which stunned South Korea, a U.S. ally, and one of the region's most vibrant democracies. The current arrest warrant is valid until January 6th and gives investigators only 48 hours to hold Yoon after he is arrested. They must then decide whether to request a detention warrant or release him. Yoon's lawyer in a statement on Friday said the execution of an invalid arrest warrant against Yoon is unlawful. He added they will take legal action without elaborating. It's the latest turn in a political crisis sparked when Yoon declared martial law on December 3rd, claiming he was rooting out anti-state forces among his political opponents. Within hours, he revoked the order after lawmakers voted against it.
I love their flag. The freaking purple and red yin-yang with the little symbols. I like that flag.
Separate from the criminal investigation, Yoon's impeachment case is currently...
It's not as cool as the American flag, but it's a cool flag.
...before the Constitutional Court to decide whether to reinstate or permanently remove him.
Okay. There's your little update on South Korea. Now I'm going to do a little local news with Salt Lake City. Here's an interesting one. From the Salt Lake Tribune, proposed ban on pride flag from Utah schools revived by GOP lawmaker. Representative Trevor Lee, the Layton Republican sponsoring the bill, has previously made comments on social media attacking the LGBT low IQ STD community and public school teachers. A year after 2 attempts to bar pride flags from being displayed in classrooms. Remember, we covered this, how they were, during Pride Month, they turned the U at the Salt Lake Community College. There's giant U's out front, and they make them rainbow colored. And then during BLM, they like vinyl wrap them. It's white, and they like vinyl wrap it with rainbow flags during Pride Month, BLM stuff during that. And they did that, and then somebody was handing out all these flyers, these anti-LGBT flyers, and they like spray painted on the thing to cover up the rainbow flags. People don't like that here in Utah, and then they say it's bigoted hate speech, these flyers. It's like, no, people just don't want gay flags put all over the schools and public buildings and public offices. Under flag display amendments introduced by Representative Trevor Lee and made public Thursday, K-12 and public charter schools would only be allowed to hang flags listed in the bill, including U.S. flags, state flags, flags of Native American tribes, military flags, flags of other countries, and flags for colleges and universities. Flags temporarily displayed as part of the school's approved curriculum would also be permitted. If a parent complains about non-sanctioned flag and the school board doesn't resolve the grievance within 10 days, the bill would give parents the right to sue. The bill is nearly a copy and paste of last-minute effort by Senator Dan McKay during the 2024 legislative session to replace legislation specifying how schools should deal with employees who are subject to criminal investigation, de facto pride flag ban. So, based Utah, banning the pride flag in schools and government built. Trump's trying to get pride flags banned from government buildings. So that's it. We're putting this stuff to rest. This is over. Stop coming for the kids. Stop putting your gay social agenda, socio-political agenda in all the schools with the children. There shouldn't be rainbow flags in schools with second graders. That represents gayness. That represents sexuality. You shouldn't be putting anything sexual related near children or even thinking about sexuality when it involves children. It's disgusting. Cut it out. All right. And then last but not least, the Other Side Village. We talked about this before. This is local Salt Lake City news. So they've made this small house community. We've talked about these before. These are tiny. It's a tiny house community for homeless people. And I think we covered probably like 6 months ago, like what the rules are going to be. These are only temporary residences. Ideally, this is somewhere they go and then they have services and they help them find jobs and get into permanent housing. I think there's a limit of time that they can stay in this place. There's curfews. But anyway, it's finally opening. And I was thinking a cool video would be, since I have the mic now, to go check this place out a couple months into it, because I want to see, is there trash everywhere? Is there people walking around outside these houses, drug addicted? What do the people look like who are moving into there? If I could talk to a couple of them, ask them what the community services are, what they're doing to help you guys, what are the neighbors like, what's going on out here? Do you think that this is gonna help people, or I want to wait a couple months because they did this in this city before. There was an apartment building, and it was an old apartment building, but they like moved everybody out of it and sold the building to the city, and then they started moving homeless people into it. So they packed this apartment building, and this is a common gentrification. So what they'll do is they'll move homeless people into a specific area of the city. They'll kind of push all the homeless people with police force. They'll police other areas, and then leave like one area not very policed, usually by a homeless shelter or in certain areas of cities. And they do this in Kensington, Pennsylvania. They do it in all the cities. They'll push the homeless people into that area. And then that area gets run down, trashy, trash is on the ground, homeless people doing drugs everywhere. This makes people who live in that area not want to live in there anymore. So they start moving out, and the value of the land goes down because nobody wants to live there because all the homeless people and drugs and crime is there. So the value of the land goes down. They'll do this before a big buy. So, for example, in the road home, the Rio Grande area, the people who own the Gateway Mall wanted to build new houses in that area and make the Gateway Mall nicer and, revamp the Gateway Mall, revitalize the Gateway Mall, and build expensive condominiums and stuff around the Gateway Mall. But that area was the Rio Grande neighborhood, which is where all the homeless people and all the crime was. And what you see is they push them all there. This lowers the value of all the land in the Rio Grande area. And then these developers buy up all the land and they start building there. Because the value of the land goes down, the value of the buildings go down because of the crime. Then they build it up. Then they send all the police force there and they drive them to the next area. And so that's what we see happening in Salt Lake City. Anyway, so when it was time for them to leave the Rio Grande area, because all the new condos were up, the Gateway was remodeled, all the construction's done, let's move them to a new area. So they get a dilapidated apartment building on the other side of town. Now the next area we're going to move them to is the 300 West region instead of the Rio Grande area. We're going to push them over to the 300 to 500 West area. And that's where these apartments are that they buy. The government moves the homeless people into them. Within like 6 months, one of those buildings where they moved all the homeless people caught on fire and the whole thing burnt down because all the people in there are doing drugs, selling drugs, making drugs, meth labs, freaking all this stuff is in this apartment building. The apartment building catches on fire, burns down. All the homeless people who were given free housing end up losing their houses again. Now they're back on the street. They lose all their stuff again. So I want to see if that's what happens in this tiny home village. If I go there in 3 to 6 months and talk to some people and walk around and look around, is it going to look this nice? I don't think it will. I think it's going to look a mess. So is this the next area that they're trying to build up and they're trying to push the homeless people over into these areas? Do you have a large homeless population here? Yeah. Yeah, it's a Democrat city with a Marxist woman mayor, and she makes money off her homeless population. They don't think these Democrats in these cities are trying to help the homeless people. They get paid for having more homeless people, and they learn how to use the homeless people, like I just explained, for gentrification and for developing. They move the homeless population around. Plus, they get all this extra funding if they have a bigger homeless population, and they use it to make art installments and garbage stuff. But yeah, we do have a big homeless population here. But so I would like to check out this other side thing. Now, a couple oddity stories. So that's just an idea. Like 3 months, go check out the other side mini home village and see if it's all dilapidated. I should get out there once now that it just opened so I can record some B-roll of what it looks like when it's brand new and then what it looks like in 6 months, because I bet you it's going to look a mess. But we will see. But I'd like to talk to some of the people living there in about 6 months, give it some time, let people get in there, talk to them about the neighbors and all that stuff. Let's do some oddity stories from Breitbart. Here's a good one. Police say 2 men searching for Sasquatch were found dead in the Washington wilderness. We got some Sasquatch hunters. Uh-oh. Did Sasquatch get them? 2 men in Portland, Oregon, who went into the Washington state wilderness to look for Sasquatch were discovered dead after failing to return home. Uh-oh. On Christmas Eve, Sasquatch might have got them. 59 and 37-year-old men were reporting missing. The relative reported that the pair were searching for Sasquatch. A flock camera, also known as a license plate reader, picked up the vehicle in which the men had traveled to the woods, leading search and rescue officials to find it abandoned off of Oklahoma Road near Willard, Washington. 3-day search ensued, featuring more than 60 volunteers, canines, and drones. U.S. Coast Guard also provided an air asset based in Astoria, Oregon, to assist in finding the 2 missing men. After a grueling search through difficult terrain and harsh weather conditions, the sheriff's office said they found both men deceased in a heavily wooded area. I think Sasquatch got him. Maybe they found him. This is why we never have evidence of Sasquatch, because when people find him, they don't make it out. Sasquatch don't play. I wonder if they're having monthly check-ins or something for those homes. Yeah, we talked about it. I read over all the... It's going to be very strict, and homeless people don't like strict stuff, you know. But, so maybe the ones who end up there are the good ones, hopefully. Hopefully that's what we see. 59, I can't even hike and do all that now. I know, I think they found Sasquatch, and I think he got him. I think he took him out. Last but not least, Mr. Beast rented out the pyramids for 100 hours. And the meme I saw said, this man's about to unbox a pharaoh. He's doing an unboxing video of the pyramids. I want to find secrets. Mr. Beast is renting out the Egyptian pyramids because content. The famous YouTuber says he rented the Great Pyramids of Giza for an upcoming video. People are like, you can rent out pyramids? Freddie, did you know you could rent out the pyramids? Yeah, Mike, they're looking for Sasquatch, and they got. Mr. Beast unboxing a pharaoh. One of the oldest architectural sites in the world is getting a Mr. Beast treatment. A recently released video clip features the famous YouTube saying that he rented the Great Pyramids of Giza for an upcoming video. We got all 3 of the pyramids of Egypt for 100 hours. Bro, how much money you got to have to rent a pyramid for? What are you doing at the pyramids, boy? I've never been inside it. I just want to find secrets and go through all the rooms and tombs and all that kind of stuff. You can't just, I don't believe this. You can just rent a pyramid and just walk around in the pyramids for 100 hours. How much does that cost? It doesn't say the price. But I don't know. Apparently he's got a video coming out. Hopefully he finds evidence of the dinosaurs. That's all I'm saying. If he's really Mr. Beast, he'll find the dang dino evidence in them pyramids. All right, last but not least, in rapid fire, a little weather report from Axios. Major winter storm to usher in Arctic blast for 230 million people. Climate change. Threat level. The storm is set to deliver upwards of a foot of snow in parts of the plains, Midwest, the Appalachians, and some lower parts of Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and potentially Philadelphia as well. We've been getting snow here for like 2 days. You think Sasquatch has graped them? It's his thing. I don't know. I don't know if Sasquatch is gay. Why are you gay, Sasquatch? Multiple states are forecast to see destructive ice storms that could lead to widespread, enduring power outages. The ice zone will stretch from parts of Nebraska eastward to Kentucky and West Virginia. Treacherous travel conditions are expected with power outages likely in areas that receive over a quarter inch of ice accumulation. The National Weather Service said, by the numbers, as the storm exits late this weekend into early next week, Arctic air will be drawn southward out of Canada. Everything's coming out of Canada, sending temperatures plunging below 0 degrees Fahrenheit across the Northern Plains and upper Midwest. Yeah, we're getting some of it here in Utah, but it's been a very mild winter. Like, we just got our first good ground coverage of snow. We had a little bit of snow earlier in the year around late October. Late October, and but it wasn't even enough to it snowed during the night and the morning, and then by the time I woke up in the afternoon, the snow was all melted. But now the snow is sticking, and I think there's even more snow. But that is all of the news, guys. There's nothing really planned in this last little segment here. I just wanted to talk to you guys about how 2024 went. 2024 in review, crazy year. The election, Trump is coming back. Attempted assassination on Trump's life. We got to roast Kamala for a while. What else? What's all the big stuff that happened in 2024? Let me get my Strong's Concordance, and I'll do a little talk about that. But yeah, 2024, good year. You know, we hit 5K subs this year. We got 1 million views this year. It was a good year. 2024 was not a good year. Or I mean, it was a good year. I worked all year getting my tax returns back, so not under the table, not independent contracting, so I actually get a tax return now. That'll be nice. Nice little chunk of money. And I'll use that money to get my truck fixed. But I got some savings saved up, so we'll fix the truck once I pad out my savings a little better. But been a good year in 2024. Looking forward to 2025. Trump coming back. Want to do more videos this year. I want to do more just either like, what do they call them? Video exposés. Like, so I need to do my O'Brien was the hero of 1984 video, and a lot of the topics that I've covered in the show, I need to do just 20-minute videos with some editing and just sitting here talking about stuff with a script written instead of just off the cuff like I do on the streams. Make some videos about the stuff that I like to talk about. Man on the street type videos, go out and talk to people, look at things, do some more urban adventures. I got to get my goal is to get the Florida video edited this week. And then next week, the dreadlock video all fully edited. But I'd like to put out a video every week. Who has accidentally put 24 in the year column? Yeah, we did that meme last week. Me for the next 3 months, it's a 4 turned into a 5. That always happens. Yep. Hopefully we could, I don't know. My sub count, because I haven't been doing shorts lately, had just been going down, down, down. Each day I lose a subscriber. So I don't know what's going on, but would like to Editing blows. I know. I hate editing, Amanda. That's what sucks. I'll make content. I could sit and talk to a camera, record stuff, go on adventures, record stuff. I just hate the editing. But I'd like to get some new camping gear before summer starts and go on a couple camping trips this year and do some reviews of some new camping equipment, survival type stuff, make another bug out bag video. Not planning any big trips this year, but saving up money. The goal of 2025 is to save up money and next Christmas get myself a nice new tower computer. I've been looking at computers, and I don't think I need to spend like $6,000, but I think if I can save up like $3,000, I can get a badass computer for $3,000, like a nice tower, a nice computer that I'm not going to have to upgrade or do anything with it for a long time. We've been on this laptop for a while, so that's the goal this year, is to save up for the computer. Any funds you guys send, that'll be going towards saving for a new computer. And I'm pretty sure over a year I can save up enough to get a nice new computer by next year. We just got too many wires everywhere now. Need to get it all put into a tower. Then I can have the laptop for if I travel or anything like that. But that's the goal for this year. The goal is, I don't even want to set a sub goal. My sub goal is by next year to be at 10K, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I'm not going to pay for advertising, and, you know, it doesn't seem like we are growing rapidly. So maybe a more realistic goal is like 6,000 or 7,000 subs, but I don't even want to set goals. I should, but then you can't get disappointed if you don't set goals. Would it be nice to be at like 7K by this time next year, by 2026? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I do want to get a new computer next year for Christmas. So that's that goal. We got the mic, we got the boom. Another goal is to get the rest of the studio, some stuff on the walls and like a table. I have another mic now, and I need to get another camera so I can have a camera facing that way and a mic over there. So if somebody's sitting on the couch, they can be part of the show. But that's the goals and stuff for 2025. Need to save $8 a day for that 3K computer. Yeah, I should be able to hit it easy. I mean, I could buy it when I get my tax return, but I want to actually have money in my savings too. So I want to save money and then also be able to get the computer, but still have money saved. So only like expense I have right now is fixing the truck, which I could do with the money I have right now, but I want to pad out my savings first. So when I get my tax money, I'll get the truck fixed, save a little bit. And then by next year, I should be able to get a nice computer and still have some in my savings. Post more shorts. Even if it's just you playing with Echo or cooking, you'll grow your sub. So yeah, I know. I need to be doing a short a day. It doesn't take that long to do them, but I should be doing a short a day. When I don't do the shorts, when I'm doing the shorts, I see the sub number going up and up and up. But none of those people come to the streams. When I don't do the shorts, I see my sub just slowly dropping, my sub count. I don't know. But since I have Friday and Saturdays off now, on Fridays I can go on other panels and stuff, get a little more exposure that way. The problem is you go on somebody else's panel and their audience, maybe they like you at first, and they're like, oh, who's this new guy? I'll go subscribe to his channel and check it out. And they come and they subscribe, but they haven't really heard a lot of what I've had to say. Once they listen to me a little more, they're like, oh, this guy's crazy. I don't like this guy. So I say something to piss somebody off, almost guaranteed. And then they're like, oh, wait, I don't really like this. And they unsubscribe. Maybe that's what's happening. You don't need to even edit them. Just record little clips and throw them up. You could be right. I think you're right. But yeah, we can do more panels and stuff, get a little more exposure that way on Fridays. We can do Saturday night fight nights are going to be fun. I can't wait. I can watch the UFC again. I haven't been able to watch hardly any UFC fights in 2024 because I was working every Friday and Saturday. Couldn't go on VK, couldn't watch the UFC fights. Now, oh, this guy is crazy. I like him. Yeah. That's what happens with some people. Other people are like, oh, he seems nice, and they subscribe, and then they watch a few shows, and they're like, oh, wait. Did he just say LGBT low IQ STD? I don't know. This guy's a bigot. What was I just about to say? They're losers if they don't like you. Based. I agree. 2025. Got to get back to the gym. Got to get on my gym schedule. It just sucks in the cold in the winter. Got to get back on the gym schedule. And I want to read more this year. I want to read more. While I was on my trip, I read half of, not half. I read like 150 pages into a book called The Institute by Stephen King. It's pretty good so far. I need to finish that. It's like 540 pages, but it's not super small text, so I can read it pretty quick. But a book that I got for Christmas that I want to talk to you. We're probably going to wrap up at like 8:30, 8:45. But this is what my mom got me for Christmas that I asked for. This is the Strong's Expanded Exhausted Concordance of the Bible, Red Letter Edition. Hebrew, Greek dictionaries expanded to over 600 pages. Every word of the Bible indexed. James Strong. This is a Strong's Concordance. It's a big old book, as you can see. Little size comparison. This is a size 12 shoe. It's a big old book. But this is a Strong's Concordance. You can pretty much do all this on the internet without the book, but I like having the book. And it's got the red letters, but basically the way this is used, I have a stack of books. Yeah. Reading's hard, man, in this new day and age with phones and computers. It's tough to read, but so basically every word in the Bible is indexed in here. And I'm going to show you guys how to use this. If you see the letter tabs on the side here, kind of like a dictionary, it's got the black tabs on the side. So the first half of this is an English index, basically. And any word you find in the Bible, it could be as simple as the or and. But let's find like a specific word that we don't know. So I just flipped open. I'm on Psalms 1. This is real good for like names of people and names of places specifically. But let's see. Holy Hill of Zion, begotten thee. I'm just trying to find like an odd Hebrew or Greek or just a word I don't know. Salah. Well, you know what Salah means. I'm just scamming through here trying to find Neganoth. Yeah, but that's not part of the text. That's part of the... Anyway, as you're reading through the Bible, say you get to a word, you don't know what that word means. I'm just trying to find one real quick. Okay. Deliver my soul from the sword, my darling, from the power of the dog. So that is Psalms 22:20. The power of the dog. What do they mean by power of the dog? I know what a dog is. But in Psalms 22:20, deliver my soul from the sword, my darling, from the power of the dog. What do they mean by the power of the dog in Psalms 22:20? So that's a real simple word, dog, Psalms 22:20. So what we're going to do, just like a dictionary, we're going to go to the D and we're going to look up dog. Now, of course, we all know what a dog is, but I want to see what exactly they mean by dog in that verse. So I'm going to go drunken, dwell, LMNOPQR. There's door, dost, dote, doleful, ABC, EFG, HIJKL. Okay, doer, doers, doest, doctor, CD, doeg, EF, G, dogs, 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 dog. Okay, so I found dog, just like a dictionary. Now it's going to tell me every time that the word dog is used. Now it should have an H or a G. This one does not have an H or a G. That's odd. The G should be for Greek and the H should be for Hebrew, but this one doesn't have that. This one just has the Strong's number. So anyway, so dog. Dog is mentioned in Exodus 11:7, Deuteronomy 23:18, Judges 7:5, Isaiah 17:43. We're looking for Psalms 22:20. So here it is, Psalms 22:20, darling from the power of the dog. Psalms 22:20. So I found the verse and I found the word. Now, I thought it was supposed to say H or G, but anyway, if you follow this out, I can't really show you on this camera. I would need... And see, so I could like make a video about this where instead of just going off the cuff, I have a planned script and I have another camera set up so I can show you what I'm doing in the book and make a short like 15-minute video of how to use the Strong Concordance. That's what I would like to do, something like that. But it's hard for me to like hold it up and show it to you right now. But we have D, we have dog, we find Psalms 22:20, and then we follow it over and it says that our strong number is 3611. Now, if we look at dog here, all these examples of dog, 3611, 3611, 3611, they're all 3611 except for one, which is in 2 Peter 2:22, which is 2965. So in some Strong's Concordances, it'll say H or G. H or G means Hebrew or Greek. Mine doesn't say H or G. It just gives me the number, but I think the numbers are going to take us to the back because at the back, we have a whole Hebrew dictionary and a whole Greek dictionary. So all of these 3611s are all the Old Testament. This 2965 is the New Testament. It's 2 Peter. All these other uses of the word dog are in the Old Testament. So the reason that one is 2965 and one is 3611 is because these are two different Strong's numbers for two different locations, which is usually going to happen because of different languages. So the one in 2 Peter is going to be Greek, and all the stuff in the Old Testament is going to be Hebrew. So we're looking for 3611, which is called the strong number. So when you go to the back, you don't go in alphabetical order. Once you get to the Hebrew and the Greek section, there's just numbers. And it's hard for you to see, I know. But now it's not alphabetical order, it's number order. So we're looking for 3611. So we come, and just like a dictionary, it's at the top of the page. So this is 3385 to 3423. We're looking for 36, 35, 3606. So it should be at the beginning of this page. This is 3607 to 36727. What are we looking for? 3611. Now you could keep your hand in there so you don't miss what you're doing. So 3611, the word used in Psalm 20:22, my darling from the power of the dog. So dog there, the word they're using there is Caleb. And it tells you how to pronounce it, tells you how to spell it, tells you how many times it's mentioned in the Bible. This word Caleb or dog is used 32 times. It tells you how to write it in Hebrew. And it says, from an unused root means to yelp or else to attack a dog, hence by euphemism, a male prostitute could be a dog. Caleb, from an unused root, means to yelp or else to attack a dog, hence by euphemism is a male prostitute dog. So, save my darling from the dog. So it could be a dog, or it could be also could mean male prostitute, or it could be a yelp, the root of a yelp, or it could just be a dog, or it could be a male prostitute. But anyway, so you can take this word Caleb now, and then you can look at all the examples that it's used and see how it's used differently. Now, sometimes words are going to have the same meaning. Like for this one, all the times that dog is used, it's pretty much just meaning one or the other. It's meaning a dog or a male prostitute. I never heard of that book. I would like that for when I read the Bible. Yeah, it's basically a Bible study companion. So whenever you're reading your Bible and you get to a word that either doesn't make sense or you don't know what it means, it's very useful for names and locations. So if there's a name that's used in the Bible and you see a name, you can look that name up in here, and then you can see who exactly that is and where they're mentioned in the Bible. Every time that they're mentioned, so then you can jump around and you can see other times. If there's a person, you're like, who's this guy that they just mentioned? I don't know anything about him. Hezekiah. Who's Hezekiah? You can look up Hezekiah and you can see all the times that he's mentioned. And then you can go to all those different verses. But it's also useful for if there's a word with multiple different meanings and you see it and you're like, I wonder how they're using this word. You can go to the Greek and to the Hebrew in here, and you can see every other time it's used, all the different uses of the word, what the different meanings could be, and what the specific meaning is in that context. Now, this was not a good example that I used dog. It's a very, kind of self-explanatory word, what they're saying. But it is interesting. I just learned that the word dog in the Old Testament in Hebrew could also mean a male prostitute. So that's an interesting thing that we just discovered. But it's going to help you more for words that you don't understand. You're like, what does that word even mean? So with this, you can see exactly what the word means in Greek, what the word means in Hebrew, how it's used in the New Testament, how it's used in the Old Testament, everywhere it's used in the Bible. You can do all this on the internet now with Google. You can get an interlinear. I still need to get an interlinear Bible, but you can get an interlinear Bible on Google. You can just go to Bible Gateway, read through the verse, and then you can take it to the interlinear and go word from word with all the Strong's Concordance information. It's all on the internet. But I like to have physical books. I like to go through a physical book like this. I think it's better for our brains. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe it's just a preference. I don't like doing everything on the computer with the screen. I like to have the books in my hands, and really, I don't know, it puts you more in like a study state of mind. Like you feel like when you're holding all this book, when you're holding a chunk of book like this, it makes you feel like you're learning more. Guys are called dogs all the time. I could have told you that, Josh. Yeah, I know, but I didn't know in Hebrew they were doing it. I didn't know they were doing it in dang biblical times, but yeah, I guess you're right. So it can help you with fine-tuning the context. Exactly. And then not that you shouldn't listen to experts, but you can listen to some different opinions on a topic, and then you can do your own study and you can take it to the exact context yourself and go word for word and figure out the exact context in Hebrew, in Greek, and then you can listen to different authorities talk about it, and you can form a correct opinion or form the truth. I shouldn't say opinion, because if an opinion is true, it's not an opinion, it's just true. And if it's false, it's not a wrong opinion, it's just false. Opinions are more like preferences, but you can this will help you get to the truth. And then you've put this with listening to different authorities from different denominations, hearing all the different ideas, and then this is how you study to show yourself approved. Instead of just listening to somebody else, you can actually do the research yourself. And I think it strengthens your mind. I think it's just good. I like having the physical books, and I like doing my own research and listening to the experts, but I'm not just going to follow the experts. I need to come to the truth on my own. Otherwise, I'm just listening to what somebody told me. And so with these tools, another tool that I don't have yet is an interlinear Bible, which is basically a Bible that has all these words in Greek in it. And it has the Strong's Concordance numbers in it. So you go from the Bible to the interlinear to the Strong's, and you have a full trifecta of resources to come to the right conclusions. And then you mix that with our access to YouTube, experts, church fathers, church authorities, people who just know a lot, just talking to people who know a lot. And this is how we study to show ourselves approved instead of just letting man teach us. The Bible says, let no man teach you. But then it also says, study to show yourself approved. But then it also says knowledge puffs up and love builds up. So you can't just be seeking knowledge, but you can study, and you don't want to hold on to it. You want to just read it, just learn it, let it go, and the truth is revealed to you. Don't write off the experts, but we also don't just have to take the experts' words for it. We can do our own study and our own research. So that's the Strong Concordance. I'm really happy I got this thing. It's a huge book. And it's just, it's got so much information in it. And it really helps you understand the Bible. See, they say from an unused root. What does that mean, from an unused root? Unused root of a word? See, this one has a huge thing. Shameh. To be lofty. The sky is aloft. The dual. Now, there's going to be a lot of abbreviations and things, which I'm going to have to do more study into what all these abbreviations and codes that they use in this mean. But yeah, maybe I could do a more detailed video with better camera angles on how to use this thing once I have some more time with it. I'm more of an unused root. Yeah, they keep saying unused root. I'm not sure what that means. Alerting to the visual arc in which clouds move, as well as the higher ether where the celestial bodies resolve, is the word shameh. Shameh. Heaven, air, astrologers of 1895. Introduction. Sometimes it signifies the atmosphere immediately surrounding the earth in which the fowls of the air fly. Sometimes it is used of the space in which the clouds are floating. In other places, it refers to the vast expanse through which the stars are moving. So this is interesting. This is the word shameh. I wonder if this is related to firmament. So I'm going backwards. So I'm supposed to get to here from somewhere in the English, but I skipped that. But the word Shamay has to do with Shamayim. I don't know. I'm just looking through this, but it looks like we're talking about the firmament here. Shamay, is that Hebrew for firmament? Because it looks like that's what we're talking about. Anyway. Okay, you shouldn't upset Echo. What did Echo do? Who's Echo? Echo's my dog. What the dog doing though? And actually, I need to take him for a walk before I leave. So it's almost 8:30. I'm just going to wrap up the stream a little early. We're going to have to make these Monday shows a little quicker now, because I do have to go to work after. And I need to walk Echo and get some food and get ready to go here in about 30 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up the stream, guys. Thank you for hanging out. The Monday night Dreaded Conservative show. Make sure everybody hits the like button on your way out. We're not doing an after party tonight because I got to go to work. But if I can get a schedule right, maybe we can do some. I just got to make sure I get to sleep on time. I get home from work, and if I don't go to sleep by like noon, then I end up just sleeping until I have to start work. If I go to sleep at like 10, then I can wake up by like 6 and do a little 2-hour stream before I go to work. So need to work on that this year. But I'm going to go, guys. Hit up the Cash App if you like the content. Help me save up towards the PC, the new PC. Super chats are appreciated. Memberships. Thank you to all the members, Rome, William, and everybody who's a member. Stub one. What in tarnation? I missed the whole dang show. Yeah, it's going to be like this. We're going to make them quicker. But thank you guys for hanging out. And Happy New Year. Looking forward to a good 2025. Got the new mic, so got the Millennium Falcon here. We're ready to go. Got a lot of plans for 2025. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. God bless. Have a good one. Again, hit the like button on your way out. Make sure you're subscribed and you're not unsubscribed. And I'll see you guys later. God bless.